on what you figured out they're doing already in terms of jumps, dodges, and Spear has some stuff too. If you ever watched Impala play, he's someone
Oh
to
yeah.
look at by a lot on what your kit has for you, rather than just like just here's spear and here's bow. I think he's a good person to look to when you want to know how to play Kaya rather than play spear and bow. But I will help you play spear and bow, and then also help you look at some stuff with Kaya. Uh, I would say that you mentioned that you aren't really you don't really get upset when you're playing poorly, and I'll say that I'm the same way in that aspect where I really only feel defeated if I knew I could have played better myself, or if I'm just like not playing up to my own standards, and that's perfectly fine. That's a normal way to think, and nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that when you are playing poorly, you don't just keep playing, because then you are probably wasting your time. And what I mean by that is if you've played like 20 games and they've all been bad practice, or just like why are you even playing? You probably just get off, right? So
Got it.
that's what I do. Well, that's not what I do. Sometimes I play 40 games in a row and I'm just like, should probably have stopped by now. But I'm also bored and don't really care that much, so it's all good. Unless there's a specific game that you feel we want to get into, we're gonna do all of them anyway, so might as well just start with the top.
I feel like we should start with the Koji one.
All right, let me start with the Kojo.
Three, two,
Okay,
one, brawl!
that was nice. Uh, so usually I will tell people that you are attacking too fast at air, and what I mean by that is you got this hit off, and your first reasonable thing to do was to go for a very committal move on his dodging, and I'm not gonna say it was a terrible idea because you kind of clearly see that he's gonna dodge in here, right? Like he's dodging in here, which is why you go for the side light. Uh,
No, I did that preemptively.
yeah, it's the you think he's gonna dodge in, right?
No, I thought he was just gonna move towards the weapon.
Okay, so a position like this is where you don't really want to do anything early, because you have such an advantage that you can actually just calmly wait and see what he does. And what I mean by that is you've picked up this weapon here. Instead of using the slowest and biggest commitment move on your kit, right? Let's say you just pick up the weapon and you see this dodge in happen in front of your eyes rather than sidelight early, and then you sidelight the other way and you catch it, you get your downlights there, or you just downlight since you dodged in. And that's where something like waiting is good for you, because sidelighting early doesn't really gain you anything. Even if he just kind of moved into you, right? You get that sidelight and then he probably would just dodge away, and you're not getting much out of it. You have full stage control now that you've picked up the weapon before him. You got the early hit off. Forcing yourself this hard leads to something like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. That nair was out of place, but yeah.
My spear's really way worse than my bow.
Okay. Yes. Stuff like this, obviously, like I said, I don't play Kaya, but obviously this is
That's
you just like
so
wait a bit, right?
yeah, that's it reads every dodge except for all the out dodges.
Yeah. Okay. So I will say that for the first thing on your sphere, you're just too slow on a lot of the stuff. Like this narrative never came out, obviously, which is fine, because you see that he's actively moving away from you. So to do a nair like this would just assume that he's going to pick up this weapon and run at you, which is just not how things work. And better yet, if that was your idea, right, that he is just going to pick it up and move towards you, you're a lot better off downlighting. And I will say that downlight on spear is like borderline a free jump where nothing will happen to you. It's like your best friend on this weapon. So I would recommend that anytime you think you need to do something like this, you just downlight instead. For a lot of the time.
I did
So,
that to try to cover both the jump and if he was on the ground, though. Like, if he
uh,
didn't jump, then you just enlighted me.
I mean, if he stays on the ground here, I don't think you're going to hit him with that regardless, because he's just going to gradually move backwards on stage like he did here. The thing is, like, it's expecting really hard that he moves into you. You're hoping for him to move into you here really hard. With the downlight, it's a common habit to jump after this, and then it also catches if he's moving away. And not everything's like perfect, obviously. So it's not like, okay, he has to move this way or he has to come up here. Even the downlight isn't gonna hit him, right? But there's definitely a way safer option of something where you're not gonna get hit like this. Downlight, you're not gonna get hit like that. Is why I would do downlight.
Alright.
The next one is fine because it punishes him after he stares. Looking at the position you were in, you're not really in a position to get a stronger punish off, so that nair is perfectly fine. That was fine, but like I was saying earlier, it's just too fast or too slow, right? So you just hold it. I think you should know if you need to hold it yourself, because
Yeah, I've been dropping that recently. I don't know what's happening.
yeah. So this is what I mean by everything is just kind of happening too slow, because they're punishes that you know need to happen, but they're happening just late enough for you to be missing them. Like that Sarah is just late enough. That side light, you were never gonna catch that downlight if it was not happening immediately. Stuff like that. So this nair as well is just like, you know that he's no longer has a dodge, and you just need to get the punish out. And realistically, you should have been punishing the Sair rather than the everything that's happening after it. I will say spear versus bow is not that fun to play. It's really hard, and jumping is not something that you want to do, especially not with how fast bow starts up in the air compared to how fast spear starts in the air, right? And bow is also trying to hug stacked on you. So this is a matchup where you look at it and you go, okay, this is what he has and this is what I have, and how do I deal with his area of control and compared to mine, right? So where does spear excel? Spear excels from standing far away from people, right? And from having priority in the air over them. Now against bow, that just never happens because bow excels at people standing far away from it, right? And also excels at having priority over people in the air, more priority than spear. So both of spear's game plans are kind of just snuffed out, and your best hope is to continuously, like, to me the matchup's just not a one you win a lot of the time, but your best hope really is just to pressure him as hard as you can, and that means you are moving towards him with your moves rather than letting him kind of attack first and then you hope to punish it. You need to do something, because a lot of the times you're not going to get a punish off because he'll just drift away from you, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is really a matchup where the aggression is on you to have. This will almost never work, especially not from this distance. You're better off just picking the spirit back up and egg dropping.
Yeah.
Okay. That was not bad. I don't know why you stand still after your move is done. Like, you're able to move like right here.
I tried to dodge and I hit the key and didn't hit it again. So
Just a misinput then.
yeah, bad inputs.
The entire thing is, see, now we're going into like the second sig in a row, the sig read in a row that's just happened too fast or just hasn't hit, right? So and these are like really important, especially on your character. Like the goal is to hit a lot of these, or else you're probably just like it's not worth to pick Kaya, honestly, if you can't hit these. But when you can hit these, I feel like Kaya has one of the best kits in the game for actually using your SIGs as often as you can, because they just cover so much from the areas of her weapons, right? Like on Hattori, I don't use SIGs that much because they actually have nothing to do with Hattori's kit. So it's like, oh, where do I actually put in a SIG? And you never actually find that place. But Kaya is not like that. Kaya is running around with 50-50s everywhere and things you can do off the SIGs. So timing these is just so, I'm not gonna stay on this for too long because sometimes you just miss and sometimes you just do things too fast or they just happen to get through it. But timing these perfectly, like knowing that, okay, you want to hit the SIG and being able to react to the fact that after he dodges rather than assuming he's going to dodge and doing it early is going to be your best friend. I feel like doing stuff early is not beneficial, and there's a difference between doing stuff early and doing stuff fast. And when you do stuff fast, it's because you react fast enough to see it coming. Like a lot of those punishes, I said you were not fast enough because you knew you had to punish it and you just didn't, you pressed the key too late. All right, this is too early because you don't see anything happen and you are thinking for yourself and thinking, okay, I just need to do a sig here because you've already done the sig before his dodge is even out.
Yeah, I did
Which
it immediately after the weapon pickup.
Yeah, which means you need to slow it down and actually see what happens before you go for a punish here, because there's an infinite possibility of things here that are also beneficial for you. Ignoring the fact that you're Kaya, you see this dodging and you have bow in your hands. As soon as he dodges back into the ground, you can either get your end light, you can get your side light. Waiting is not bad, especially on a weapon like bow. I find myself waiting a lot. I wait a lot on bow because waiting and seeing leads to some amazing things you can do, and I'll show you what I mean by that and what I look like when I play bow after this. This is kind of an area thing. So you hit this recovery here and dodge straight through. I will say that dodging straight through gives you absolutely nothing, especially since you cannot hit him. If you dodged up, you can go for a second recovery. You can position to get that nair, right? Dodging straight through like this, you absolutely can't hit him. Not only can you not hit him, but you're in the air, so you aren't on the ground to do end light or have the leisure of anything, really. You just kind of are in a bad spot, if that makes sense. The thing you want to look at and ask yourself a lot of the times is why? Why did I do something, or why am I doing something, right? And what I mean by that is, so why did you do this dodge, right?
I wanted to get ground control, stage control.
Yeah, and you want to hit the map and all that. Okay.
Juggle.
So let's look at this dodge and what I got you. I got you not really any stage control because you're going to end up directly under him in a position where you cannot actually hit him. And it's not the worst position because if you start fast falling right now, you'll end up here. And the only thing he can really hit you with is a nair, but you'll be able to jump nair before he does. So he is not in a position to hit you. The only reason he actually does hit you is because you go a bit too far on your drift and then start running. So you run into this actually. But you see how if you just stood there, he has no way of hitting you, right? Without you having priority first. But the reason that's not the best thing is because, okay, let's say you land here and don't keep running. You have gotten to the map safely. You don't actually have any stage control, I'm not going to lie to you. And there's nothing for you to do after you've hit the ground. That's why that dodge is not valuable to you. Does that make sense? So let's look at dodges that are, sure. So there's just nothing you can do here besides land because you have to hit the ground before you're going to start jumping up to near him. Any jump you do is matched by his jumps because he still has them. And that's why it's just not scary. This is just not a scary thing to be in, especially if you keep going, because then he's just going to hit you. If you drop earlier, then this is why I think that there are better dodges you could have had. So let's look at you dodging down here instead. Right. So my cell phone. Okay, let's look at you dodging down here instead, right? And we'll just assume that you've gone to here, okay? Now you can cover this with an end light. Anything he moves around here will lead to you jump nearing him, right? If you can follow me with this, if that making sense to you. So he fast falls straight down, you end light him, right?
Yeah.
He moves anywhere.
I wanted to get.
You wanted to get here, but you.
I wanted to.
Getting too far.
No, I chose the wrong option. You're right. The down in was the best. I watched your bow guide like 8 times in the past month.
Okay, well, yeah, that's always a good thing to watch. I even have people that are like my rank tell me that they watch it still. Like Impala was telling me that he still watches it a lot.
Oh yeah, I just need to watch it over and over because I keep coming back to things where I could do something better.
Yeah. Okay. So you dodge down here to cover this, and then he can never come above you because you'll be able to jump off the ground and nair faster than he'll be able to do anything because bow doesn't actually hit straight below it. So him being above you is just a losing position in general. But the reason this is also better than going all the way out is because if you're standing in the middle of the stage, and he doesn't just hit you for it, you've created a position where you have to track him both ways. Does that make sense? You have to be able to tell whether he's going to go to the left now or the right now, right? And you don't want that. You want him to only have one option. And right now, his only option is to go this way, where you follow him on the ground, still baiting, still trying to control the ground with those end lights. And I feel like I have an example of that or something of that somewhere if I look for it.
The only thing I can think of is the Impala versus Boomy on their last talk in the first game. I saw Impala juggle Boomy really well. And he was in the same sort of situation where he stayed on one side of him and just tracked him in one direction.
Yeah, it's a fairly common thing. It's just smart, really. It's just smart to not leave yourself where they can go in multiple places. Being in control of that kind of thing is just like always going to be beneficial for you. Like, oh, he can only go this way. If he goes this way, he just loses. So he can only go this way. Now I stay below him, and I follow him, and just realize that I can literally just use the bow guide for something like this. So. And the part of the bow guide I'll look at here is I should be able to just pull out the thing with Isidru, which is like here, I think. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking at here in the sense, except it's a little weird. Okay, so you see that he's going to land something diagonal like this, and if you want to compare it to your position, when you actually end up here instead of going too far, he can not come above you. Isidru in that pathing right here, right? You see how he cannot come above me, especially with no jumps, right? That's just how you get hit. But knowing that he can only go this way, right? I follow him on the ground, and I literally talk about it in the video. Oh, he does have a jump, but yeah. This is another thing, because if he does have that jump, I just get the nair for free anyway. But you follow him on the ground for free. Following people on the ground is literally one of the best things bow has to offer. And it's really good against another bow because, like I said, bow does not hit from below, but all of it does not hit below it, but all of bow's stuff hit directly above. So another thing is probably you can try to catch him with Kaya and Sig. I wouldn't recommend that one because the Kaya and Sig just wouldn't kill him right now, so it's not that rewarding. You go what?
I go for a lot of N6 after N-Light. It's actually become too much of a habit now.
I don't know if I like that because, so if you look at it like this, going for an N-Sig early is just netting you damage unless it's like a confirmed, like guaranteed N-Sig. It nets you nothing but damage. Whereas if you instead look for N-Light, which is safer, easier, like a lot of people, I would say go for N-Light. Go for side light on Kaya and then go for N-Sig to catch the dodge up, right? Whereas you go for N-Light to catch the same dodge, and you're just in a better position after all because they don't go super far away from you, right? Unless they're dying to N-Sig, I don't really see the value of using it that early. It's just way riskier and leaves more opportunity for them to get out, and that's my opinion on that. But we've been on that frame for a long time, so I'm not gonna... You could have also, just because I mentioned it earlier, just dodged up towards him and continued your pressure. Okay, so if you want to look at this, he has no jump. He does have dodge, right? And yeah, he has dodge, so you're gonna catch him with that. He gets one jump for you hitting him. He doesn't touch the ground yet, so he could have jumped into this, but it seems like possibly quite literally the worst thing you could have done to try to punish whatever else he does. And the reason I will say that it's the worst thing you could have done is because the only thing it catches is said jump and or a dodge up, whereas literally everything else catches more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you're looking for something, don't rush yourself. And yeah, you have to be fast because if you're too slow on this, it's not going to work, right? And that's just the case with a lot of things. You have to, a thing I talk about when I coach a lot is how fast you can put this stuff through your head and actually get it onto your screen and have it still be correct. And I always say that that's the difference between someone that is good and someone that is bad. When you are good, you can put this stuff in your head and go, okay, I need to do this, then I need to do this, and then I need to do this, and then it actually works. That makes you good because then you could just be doing stuff really fast to get it out onto the screen, and it's not actually good stuff. You need to be thinking about good stuff and thinking about it fast. But I'm not going to get too much into that right now, unless you have never heard of that thought process before. But I think it makes sense to you if you get what I'm saying. So the reason this is like, oh, okay, I need to get my follow-up, but you're just going for the wrong one. It just doesn't make sense to go for it. You know he has his dodge available to him, and you know people will either dodge up to where you just end-sig them or end-light them, right? And honestly, on Kaya, I never see why you would ever go for this when it's right?
Honestly, it's just because Impala does it.
Yeah, I don't know why he does that either. Like, if we're being, like, genuinely reasonable here, right? You hit this, and you hit this Sair, and then you do nothing. And the Sair is really punishable because it's a really long move. But let's look at what dodge you're covering. It's a dodge up, it's a dodge diagonally up, it's a dodge inward up. And light covers all of them, as I've already talked about. And Sig covers them too, right? So and you know that, so I don't see what the point of going for that is. But even worse than that is the fact that it's just not confirmed to punch a dodge up. So my thing on this is to just wait, and I tend to do that a lot, where I just wait and catch the next thing because you can. And what I mean by that is, I think I have the clip here of what I want that to look like. Okay. So what I want it to look like, and I'm not gonna look for this the entire time. If I find it, I'll pull it up. But what it really should look like, and what I want you to really look at here, is the fact that things aren't really guaranteed like this. And this is a situation where you want to take that 1 second and just reset rather than follow up immediately. I feel like a thing a lot of people do when they're like getting into that range of diamond and then moving upwards in diamond, besides the fact that they just don't make the correct decisions all the time, right? Because you can hit every combo and stuff like that. You know the reads on your character. It's not hard. Is that they try to force things, and something I talk about a lot when I'm streaming, or if I'm like annoyed by someone, is I'm like, why is this guy pressing so many buttons? Why is he trying, like, not trying so hard, but why is he doing this much this fast? It's not working, right? Like something like this is just like, you're thinking way too far ahead. Does that make sense? Especially on a weapon where a bow gets a lot of value off of just not doing anything here. Just literally doing nothing. You hit this and then you stop. And then wherever they go, you go, right? And I promise you, you already know what that looks like. Like, it's not a weird thing at all. It's not a strange thing at all. And I'm using the best Kaya skin in the game, so I recommend you switch up.
No. That's the worst one.
Alright, so, and this is why I would say waiting on bow is just so important to you, right? Because it gives you access to a lot of stuff that just looks like this. And it just works. That's the same dodge, right? It just works. But going too fast, going too fast just doesn't give you anything, right? It's just a rush. There's no reason to rush, basically, right? Especially something that fast, because like if we want to really talk about how fast you did it, you literally like you dash jumped into it before his dodge had even come out. Your move had come out. Even if he like dodged up, I feel like there's a point where he literally just goes through you, and I'm probably wrong about that. But yeah, like it's just too fast. It's not even a possibility, right? You see it now, like how it
Yeah.
actually is just too fast. When in reality, oops, when in reality this does the same thing, right? And
Yeah.
it's more rewarding, and this does the same thing, and it's more rewarding. So that's where risk reward and gauging what actually is worth, or is where that's really important. Some stuff is actually worth it, and some stuff just is not. Some stuff just gets you nothing, because even when this kind of read hits, what are we working with after? Like, what do I do there, right? Like, it's
Sadly, I
just,
do like ground pound.
yeah, like it's a lot. And he can probably just jump out of that, to be honest with you. Off that second side that he has a lot of time. So yeah, dash jumping like that and rushing yourself like that doesn't get you anything, especially like that's too fast. Jumping with it instead of dash jumping is just better for you, but still it's like not that worth it. Especially like we said, you have stuff like this and you're in a lot better of a position. Not that, don't ever do that. So, that one works and is nice, but I'd still not go for
Sad
it.
light on my recovery.
It's messy because because he's at yellow, so it's like we go for the recovery. It hits sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. You can see how far it goes. Alright, back into that game. But yeah, I don't think rushing your options is ever a valuable thing, especially on Bro. You can literally just wait. There's times in tournament even where I hit the sidelight and I do that exact same thing. And I swear I did in the bow guide. If you watch it through, I used the clip on capped where I sidelight and he dodges back in and I just sidelight again. And I do it to wrench too when I want to show off how to use your SIGs. So, because that's like on Koji, that's how you get downlight and sig, because you read the dodge and sidelight downlight and then you end sig, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Kai is gonna get the same thing out of it because he doesn't have any sidelight into dodge punish reads or anything, but you just know how much damage it actually is. So that was nice.
I do it too much.
Yeah, I can tell that that's probably something that it comes out way too often and gets obvious, but if it's not obvious, it's not bad. Okay, that wasn't weird at all. I don't even need to go back to it really. That was kind of, I don't know. Just wait for him to land before you go for that Sarah, really. It feels like you were trying to punish it while it was happening. It's not gonna work. If you just waited, you would land it. It wasn't like a terrible idea. It wasn't even the wrong option. It was just early.
No, it actually was the wrong option. It was recovery, but it was too close to him.
Yeah, but if you go for the recovery after the Sarah actually finishes, you're still gonna get it.
Got it.
Those bow hitboxes recovery is very stupid. Interesting. Alright, so the game is primarily even and you have weapon advantage here, so you get that. That's good. I don't dislike this because I see what the goal of it is, but I think it's wasted because it doesn't really do much. It's like super forced in a position where you have aerial, and the reason it's forced is because he has every jump and has no reason to go downwards, right? And if you process that when you're getting this hit, you don't actually go for this. I do this, except my nair hits here, and then I try to end light them really high up. The reason I do that and the reason it happens like that is because at that point, really high up, they're limited in jumps and have nowhere to go but down. Does that make sense? He can still go up, so it's just like, okay, if he does go down, this hits him. But let's look at a world where he goes down and you just get another nair off. But now that option is better, not because it does more damage or anything, but because it leaves you open. This locks you into this. You've now said he has to go here for me to do anything. If you're looking for more nairs and more jumps, then you can actually catch him continuing to go high. You can catch him with a recovery instead of the nair. This just says, okay, I've done my end light, right? And it's like I said, a lot of the stuff happening right now that I'm seeing you do is just 1, 2, 3. It's just I do this, then I do what's next, and then I do what's next. There's
It's
never
autopilot.
yeah, there's never like a read. Like, well, okay, they're all reads, but they're super super hard reads, like insanely hard reads that I just don't see the value of going for. And I'm just a player that doesn't go for hard reads. That's fine. He's gonna punish you for it, or he's not. That was nice. That was nice too. Bad timing on it. And just slightly off space if you were a bit forward. It's actually a very good end. Just work on the spacing for it. See, okay, so you get this hit here, and what was that? Why you just like, do nothing, right? Because this is the best. This is like your dream spot on this weapon. You see him coming down like this, and then you just end light him, or you jump
In the
there.
matchup too.
Yeah, like it's literally you're in like where you'd want to be exactly, and then you just like let him hit you. And this guy's gone for Sarah and like over and over again. I wish I could tell him to stop.
Oh yeah, he drops it too. Isn't it true on Koji?
I mean, he's not. No one's gonna like hit it true. I just don't know when he keeps going for it. He should be hitting it true. But yeah, you're getting a lot of good punishes on these dodges in the air, and that down sig wasn't bad. That down sig is especially good because he has to jump over it, and then he's not doing anything with that. He's not gonna come closer to you at all. Nice. Okay, that's an end light. He's gonna point it out
Yeah.
real fast. He has no jumps. He's gonna stay in the air. You end light him, and if he hits the ground, it doesn't matter because he's too far from you unarmed. Realistically, if he ever comes into this airspace, the end light's gonna hit him, right? So he has to hit the ground about here, right? And at that point, he's just not going to be in range to do anything past your side light. Okay, so when you come in like this with no jumps, you have to hit them. Like right here. This dodge should have not.
Yeah,
so right
no
here,
option.
you dodge here and you have no options. That's fine because that's why you dodge. So do yourself a favor and don't go anywhere near him. Reset.
Yeah, that
completely.
I know. I should have done that.
Yeah, it's kind of clear. Interesting. Sarah, you need to punish him, especially if you still have your jumps. Just floating around him isn't really getting you any damage. Some more slow punishes that just aren't happening, and they need to be happening. We're gonna look at all of them, just because you deserve to see your mistakes. So, right here, first of all, you dodged for no reason. I will tell you that you don't need to dodge here. There's nothing to dodge. If he was going to hit you, he would have hit you right here at that point. It's just like a, I'm scared, so I dodge. Does that make sense? Don't fear dodge. It's bad for you because it wastes your dodge. And it puts you, because you don't control your movement when you dodge, you just go to that, you dodge in that direction, right? You end up like slightly off where you would want to be to hit them. This is why you actually probably just don't go for the hit here, because you're not in a position where you want to be anymore. Realistically, you just do this. You don't dodge because you don't need to. He does this down light anyway, and then you punish him. You still could have punished him after, but you didn't, and that's whatever. Snare's fine. But this one slightly misses, not the end of the world. It could have hit better spacings, whatever. A lot of stuff where you miss is just like, oh, I missed slightly, and that's fine. That should have been a punish, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Catch the dodge. You see he's high. You can't get up there. That's why you can't control that area at all. I will say that if he went down, this dare might have hit, but it's really weird to cover for that one, really. Mainly because it costs you everything to get there in the first place. I would prefer to cover up, but I think it was just like one or the other, so it's fine. I'm not too upset about it. The only sad thing is that just the fact that you're not going to have enough jumps to get that high. Let's see if there's any point you could have gotten your jumps back. No, you had to go like that. But honestly, you probably just recovery him rather than there, just because it costs you so
Yeah.
much. It's really dangerous. He could have killed you. Nice.
So it's that read that I do way too much, and I get punished for it.
Alright, just do it less.
Understood.
It's just like, if you're gonna do it a lot against the same people, they're gonna know you're doing it, and that's it. You're queuing into ranked, so there's no way people are like expecting it, but if it didn't work the first time, I would recommend you don't go for it again. Things like sig reads are just like, sometimes they work, and then they don't. Like, I think Diana does like downline and sig on bow, right? And it works. So if you save it till the end of the game, or like when you really need it, you're gonna get it. But if you've been doing it a lot, or if someone knows you're gonna do it a lot, then you're kind of in a worse position. It's just like, oh, I'm not actually gonna get this, right? Because you do it a lot. I don't think these people know who you are, so I'm not like expecting them to go into the game thinking, oh, this is the guy that does Enlight and Sig. So it's like not terrible to go for. Eventually you would cut down on it. This recovery is just early. That's it, it's just early. That there was bad. Okay, okay. Unless he's like standing still. That wasn't the worst one. That's like where I would say you could use your invincibility, but I don't really think it's worth it to attack out of your invincibility instead of just wait. Also,
I panic dodge because I get hit by the weapon toss.
And then you jump into the sig rather than disengage. Disengaging is always your best friend. Please disengage and stop running towards him. That'd be very good for you to win this game for free. Okay, that sig was, a sig like that is how you throw a game. The reason I say that is because if you keep tracking with him, you can see that he's never gonna actually end up over there. I don't think he can, really. He would have had to like been there the entire time, but he's clearly above you when you throw that sig out. So, and then you start like spamming sigs, and that's what I mean by a sig like that can lose you the game. So that was what possibly might be the worst stock I've seen in a while, and we're gonna look at it from the entire thing and the entire perspective. And I think you really need to understand here that you are one hit away from winning this game, and he is 30. So here's what you do: you just don't do anything for like a little bit. You get your weapon and then you play off that. But instead we have, right? We have one bad dodge. Okay, it leads into that. Now you jump away instead of engaging back into him, towards him with no dodge, right? That'd be good for you. That's one mistake. Fine. It's not the end of the world. You got hit by like the very low part of the damage. But then you do what Brawlhalla's #1 golden rule is that we don't do.
Don't dodge.
Don't dodge back in after you get hit. Right. And now this guy's kind of playing with confidence. Like I already said, that sig is not worth going for, and that one is even more of a tilt sig, because realistically here, honestly, if he just waited a second, you would have fell to the ground with the sig, and then he would have downlight dared you or some cool shit like that, and GC downlight recovery. Maybe.
Actually, yeah, that was the game if he got that.
So it's like that's like it just doesn't make sense. Too many bad dodges, too many not disengages. Disengaging is so good, especially considering he was holding sword that whole time, because sword plays neutral, and if you disengage, then it has to re-win neutral. Where like bow can push you down with pressure if you try to disengage on it, and it can come towards you with downlight. But he was just playing sword, so if you disengage, he has to re-win neutral, and you can just run around in circles till you get that weapon that you want. But yeah, for the most part, you played the game well, and you were able to find advantages for yourself here when you kept messing up. I will say that this stock was only so good for you because I saw him go for this like 3 times, and yeah, it never really worked. So he was getting punished left and right for it. You had good dodges like that, and all around, I think this was a pretty good stock. Well, till I see stuff like that. But for the most part, it was a good stock, good punishes like that, and then you run away with stuff like that. And you're able to get your damage kept on this stock towards the end. From the beginning of it, it looks like you take a lot more damage than you deal, especially with such a big lead, right? Realistically here, if you're playing well, this is like a 2-stock or close to it. It doesn't end like this. This game should never go from this to this, right? Agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially not with your defense.
Oh yeah, what would you recommend I play for a stance?
There's probably only one right answer,
Training.
and I'm already running it. Losing dex loses you nothing, so play strength. Like it quite literally loses nothing. You're already playing the bad version of both your weapons. So.
It's really unfortunate that guy can't get 6 decks.
Yeah. So it really is not getting worse. You just do more damage. Maybe if you, nope, not that, and that one is fine. It's like if you needed it for some reason, but there's no reason, so I don't think you need it. I just go strength, just take away the useless stat. And next game. So I would say your spear needs a lot of work because
A lot.
it needs a lot because it's right now you're running on the same weaknesses you have on bow, except at least bow is a super cringe weapon that lets you get away with stuff for free. Spear doesn't do that. So when you are whiffing like that on spear, it's really bad and it looks really bad. So it's you're running on the same bad habits on both the weapons where you think too far ahead and you start going for reads instead of reactions. And I'll tell you in complete honesty that I haven't seen a real read in Brawlhalla in tournament in a long time, and people just react to stuff the entire time unless you play Greatsword, because you don't have to react, or you just do the same 50-50 over and over again and it will work every time. And other than Greatsword, a lot of the stuff you see are reactions or reads that cannot be punished. And before we get into this game, I will show you what I mean by that. And what I mean by that is Ethan plays off reads because he'd rather play off reads than reactions, and that's fine. They're really hard reads, so they're really rewarding. The reason they're The reason they're also good is because another bomb. Okay. The reason they're also good is because they aren't risky, and what I mean by that is the reads he's going to go for are like that, where he's like running away from you as he does it. So if you do your dodge, which you should, right, you're not gonna get to him fast enough to punish it through your dodge's recovery frames. And show you what that looks like again, right? It's like that. So you're dodging up, and by the time you dodge it up, he's on the other side. But if he is correct in that read, right, it's very, very rewarding. Oops, I don't play Spurs, so I hate this weapon, and I hate all the reads because you don't actually dash or any of it. You do that, but yeah. The point is that you're actually gone before anything, and it's just a lot better to. And you can see how I was dashing by accident, and it's worse to dash. Dashing actually makes you too fast. And a lot of the times, if you have a read like that, you walk to it because you just know it's gonna happen. If you want to dash to it, it's really sloppy. That's what it looks like to dash for it. But like I said, you have no reason to dash for it, right? That's how you correctly dash for it, and it's not really worth it. So yeah, a lot of stuff like that is going to be rather on reaction than read, and if you want to practice that, you're best setting this spot to random.
Random.
Yeah, and you're not going to react to anything because it's not possible, right? You just, yeah, you do stuff like that. That is how you do it correctly. Like, I didn't see where it was going to go, like that. I have no clue where it's going to go because it's on random, but if you can react to stuff like that was another reaction, that is the best you're going to get out of this stuff. Trying to read it, you're not going to get anything. If you just think something's going to happen, unless you've seen it happen already, then it's a waste of your time trying to read anyway.
What about the NSIG 5 dodge read?
That one covers 5 options, and I will say it like this because it exists, but it also exists, and I know it exists, and you know it exists. So now that I know that you have a read that covers 5 options, I will just dodge in the options I can. And I'm not even just saying this as like a, oh, this is how you play against it. No, I played against Impala. I think it was in low tier, and he did sidelight Ensig over and over again. No, and it didn't hit me once because I dodged the first one, and then he did it again, and at that point I know, oh, he's just gonna keep doing it. So you just don't dodge in one of those 5 options, and there's even options where you do dodge it and you punish it. Like I dodged like up or like diagonally up or something, and then when he kept doing it, I just started hitting him for it. So it's the same as any other hard read where you could get punished for it, and I don't know if I like it, but I do think it's a good thing to know. The thing is, if your opponent also knows, then yeah, they'll avoid it. Alright. We were here. It's avoidable. I don't think it's as strong as people give it credit for. Okay. Wow. So this is all chalked up to one thing, and that one thing is using all your jumps and then dodging into him. Right. So we can kind of clearly see where you messed up here. He went a lot higher than you, and you wanted to recover the air, so it's kind of hard for you to get the weapon, and that's fine. But now you should use the remaining options you have to reset so you have things, but instead you kind of just eat damage. Don't ever do that, by the way. People do that, and it's so weird that they do that. It's so bad. Don't dash spot dodge, it sucks. Okay, Nash is eating today, apparently. Alright. You get your weapon, he throws one at you, you spot dodge. I recommend not spot dodging. It's really dangerous, obviously, but not the end of the world. This, you have to punish. This doesn't make sense to not be punished. You miss your dare, because you're inputting too fast, because you're just trying to play fast. Don't play fast, play smart. When he runs into you like that and does that sig, you have ample time to punish, and you literally, no excuse, just miss. That's another one where it's like, what is this miss for? I will also say that it shouldn't have been a nair in the first place. It probably should have just been a sair. Or a fast fall into a grounded move. The nair is not really valuable to either. Too fast on everything happening. It looks like you're gonna get your damage back up here, I'm assuming, but you hit the sair, you duh, and then you immediately run off and down air. It's just too fast because you can react to the recovery coming out and then down air that instead. And I feel like I've been preaching you the same thing over and over again of just you're assuming too much and doing things too fast, right? Just remember that you don't know what's going to happen, and wait to see what happens and then play off that, because you really just don't know what's going to happen. And also, please stop whiffing punishes. Right here, after you whiff this, it's not the end of the world. The thing is, you end light, and the reason you don't end light here is because he just used an aerial dodge, so it's not going to be back. So if you side light here, you will get the down light, okay?
Yeah.
Ah!
Dropped it.
Nice.
I swear I can hit it.
Don't know what kind of hope that was, but I liked it. It was exciting.
I wanted him to come down so I could hit him.
Please don't attack out of hit stun like that. Just reset. It's way better for you. You're leaving yourself in like really scary spots. That was nice. Alright.
That was
not too bad, but
that side stick was really hopeful.
I don't know, that sig's pretty good. I like that sig. Alright, is that, I swear that's still true on like 4 decks. You should probably have hit that.
What combo?
And like that.
Yeah, I just drop it.
Good job. Okay, so let's look at this. Alright, first one was pure unadulterated talent. Nothing much more than that. This one, he dodges in, and you get it. Move off now. Chase, you have advantage over him. And I haven't really seen.
I'm really hesitant to go off stage.
Yeah, don't be. He has no dodge. You saw when his recovery came out. I think he got it back, but I don't think it matters because you'll have a good angle on him to do whatever you want. Like realistically, if he jumps, you Sair. If he recovers, you Sair. All you have to do is run off and then hover to see what he does next. And the reason you're hesitant, I don't know, but I will tell you that it doesn't matter because it is wrong, right? You could give me any reason you wanted to why you're scared here, and the only logical reason that you could possibly give is that you are scared you would mess up,
Yeah.
and that's just not how you play the game. That is bad. If I was scared I'd mess up, then I would never do anything because you can always mess up. Yeah, he doesn't have recovery also. You literally just run off and kill him there. Thank God. You put yourself in a circle like this a lot and you don't hit him. Like, you just hit them. Okay. Okay, I don't like that, but that's just who I am. Realistically, you hit this, and then dodging in like this doesn't really get you anything. It doesn't even get you that sig. It's like super hard read, and it won't kill him, even if you hit it. But you see how it like left you kind of flustered, more flustered than it left him. I will say instead, you hit this, and you don't dodge twice, mainly because you don't need to. And if you do dodge twice, it should always just be to end light him. And it actually would have worked right here. You end light right here. He gets hit, right? Other than that, it's just messy. I don't like chase dodging into hammer, especially when I'm about to die and they're not. Still not the end of the world though. So that was nice. Pick up your weapon, please. And now you're just looking to end this stock before you take too much damage, and he's helping you out. Please go off stage sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the time. I don't go off stage all the time too. And the difference between me and you is that you're also playing ranked, and I am hesitant in tournaments because I'll lose $1,000 if I mess up. But you have nothing to lose but a match, and you learned by going off, right? Does that make sense? If you go off here, it is only experience for the next game where you go off again. You're not going to lose $1,000 if you mess up your dare, okay? You're just going to lose the match, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. I lost a lot of matches before I became good at this game, okay? But let's see if you could have had a good angle here to go off with. He misinputs, and that's his fault. And that's fine. Hammer is really scary. I'm not going to lie to you. But you jumping like this gets you nothing because it's actually taking away your jump. You can't go down like this because you're going to go down straight against hammer. And you're down a jump now because you jumped. You should have just walked to the edge and watched for his next thing and then try to play off that. That's how you would play against offstage though. Okay. Recovery? You recovery there.
Yeah.
Now we're going off stage. Downlight. I don't see you do a lot of just like raw downlights. Maybe you don't see.
I'm really hesitant to downlight. I only use it for 3 situations.
Okay, well that move's broken, so.
Alright.
Not there though.
Yeah.
Turn around also.
Yeah.
Bucks yourself bigger towards them. Not there either. So what are these 3 situations? Because
It's supposed to be to punish catch landings and punish sigs, but that's
okay.
not good.
Well, I will tell you that it's one of the only range moves in Brawlhalla, and that it hits across the map, so you can kind of use it at your leisure sometimes, and it will be good for you. You need to kill this guy before you lose the game. let's see at each possible time where you could. Okay. So after the embarrassment of these down links, which was fine.
I do another
like
one
we
later.
said, we should have missed. Yeah, you should have gotten that nair. It wouldn't have killed him, but it would have been good for you. That downlight is not the end of it. You spot dodged every single one of these now. You need to stop spot dodging them and dodge away. That'd be good for you. If you dodge
I recognize.
and above also, you get a punish on him after he misses it. Because we already know what he's going to do after. See, this is the thing. Sending people off stage will always be useless to you if you do not also go off stage. Because if you send them off stage and you're never going to go off stage, your plan is to send them off stage so that they will hopefully kill themselves. And that probably won't happen.
It's more for the edge guard.
Yeah. I mean, that's like your edge guard every single time because you're not going to go any further off stage than that. So it's like, okay. And he punishes you pretty hard for it. So instead of this Sair, if you're not going to go off stage to continue your pressure up, you just need to nair him or keep sending them up to die because you're not killing with that move ever. That could have been the end of the game also. Downlight there to catch a landing. Good weapon through. So you could have recovered him a couple times if you were just like out there and did it. Like you tried to go up under him here and it looks like you're running out of jumps, but you only run out of jumps because you use your last one to go up under him, where in reality you could have just jumped to the wall and then recovered this direction. So just...
Yeah, I was just panicking trying to get the stage.
Yeah, it looks like now this game is devolving into you trying to get the stock really bad, and you're breaking your own legendary rule of when to downlight. So.
You're right.
Okay. Got one. Alright. So I will tell you that Bo beats both of his weapons pretty hard, straight up, and that should have been an error because of the position you were in. So he catches dodge, Sair,
yeah,
that was
and
then get in there or get anything you want really. So just not that. Okay, no dodge, early, not bad. Good. You have. This is what we call an Izaju situation from the guy, right? And you have one here. So instead of going for... The nair is only ever useful if they can jump again, okay? Because then you're following them with the jumps rather than on the ground. This is a situation where you follow them on the ground. You end like this platform, because that's the only place he can possibly land without pulling back into you, which will also hit him. So you end like here, and then you recover him. You dodged also, but from fear, and it makes you unable to punish him. So don't.
Yeah, I tried to get in with my dodge, which
it does not
bad.
work ever. Dash spot dodge is bad, and I will stand on that. Every time I see a like 2300 player do it, I will tell them that they are bad and should not do it. It is bad. Okay, so no. That's bad. Don't do it. And then you dodge again for no reason. You can react to hammer Sair, so you can dodge when they hammer Sair you. You don't need to dodge.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay. Guy like me kills him right there. But I'm just different, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really different.
Eventually, I'll become a guy like you.
Or maybe you're the different one, actually. Honestly. Respect. Alright. I think you see why he should be dead, but it's fine.
Yeah, because I stuff his recovery, and that's even if I dodge.
Yeah. So you kind of just like kill him, as I would say. Not bad. Good job. You just have to keep going. If you give him like any chance or any like reset, that's the only way you use the game, and you're doing a good job of that. So just keep the pressure going. That's a nair, because you know he has to dodge in, and if you're going to Sair like that, at least get into the position correctly to do it. The reason it's a nair is because you stayed lower than him the whole time. I thought you were going to nair because you stayed lower than him the whole time, but if you just jumped again, then your Sair would have worked. Kaya sucks.
Yeah.
Don't throw your weapon though, because now you're unarmed. Versus him with a weapon, right? Also, what is this throw anyway?
It's
Right.
hopeful.
So it's like, this is a I don't deserve to win throw. When you've like when you brought it back and you were like, yeah, I'm better than you for bringing this back. I'll let you have the win. That's one of these, right? Because there's no way for him to get hit by that. And then that's just the final prayer.
Desperation.
Yep. Down sig. Just win the game, bro. You know? Yep, you went for it.
Too late. But
And then you went for it again. I'm assuming I see it a third time, honestly.
you might be right. It's desperation. There it is.
Alright. And he popped the soda on you. Okay, so good comeback from you. You played really well. Throughout the
I
stop.
played okay.
No, it was nice. I liked it. It was pleasant to watch, at least. Because I like watching bow in there and hearing bow sounds, and that was good. You catch all the jump options you could possibly have. You waste his dodge right there, and you get him for it. So, everything was nice except that. That was bad. Everything else was nice. And then from right here, you like signed a contract where you just weren't gonna try it. So, you throw away for no reason. You miss that, and then you don't kill him right there where you can. I hate this. It's like
It was a panic.
It's
It's
just-
totally the wrong option.
it just feels like it's the most obvious thing a Kaya player can do. It's like when you play against Terrace or Orion and they go off stage, what are they gonna do? They're gonna end sig.
And Sig.
They're going to end sig. So when you watch a Kaya player hit you with sidelight, you're like, they're going to end sig or they're going to down sig. So just dodge away every single time. Which is why I hate it. It's just like I'm looking at it, I'm like thinking, you know, I'm not gonna get hit by that. Why go for it, right? Because this is one of those like hard Ethan reads we were just talking about, where you just chase him forward and then you win the game, right? So it's just like. So you're scared and he's scared, and you're doing
Yeah.
moves that lock you in place for a really long time. This should have never came out. Even if it shouldn't have been a Sair either, which is why I'm going to tell you that this should have never came out. You were probably trying to Sair, but it should have never been a Sair either. Nothing should have came out there. This downlight's not bad. The thing is, after you miss it, you should be going off stage, not back towards him. You should not be going back towards Hammer while you're above Hammer. That's how you lose. But I will say you genuinely played pretty well throughout the end of that stock. Yo, rematch? Let's go.
Yeah. I needed to bring it back.
There's fine. Weapon starting is good. Okay, so this is something I'm gonna point out. So Hammer is stupid, so it gets that at the start of the game on you, right? And it always will, because it is stupid. But that's kind of the thing you want to avoid because of it. And unarmed is best used in bursts. I will say that this move is not worth using like this, mainly because it's so small. That sidelight is literally just better, because sidelight is stupid and does that. So I recommend you don't use downlight even like that, because sidelight would have actually hit him there, right? Obviously it's not a combo move, but let's be honest here, you're comboing your 8 damage downlight with your 12 damage nair or 12 damage there. So you're not doing big damage anyway, okay? So I would recommend just keep doing the stupid move. But it leads to you getting hit heavy for it, which is why it's like very iffy. And you can see that you hit him like 3 times with unarmed, and he hit you twice and you're in yellow. So that's why I would say you move very carefully when you're playing unarmed like that. It's good in bursts, but it's not actually doing as much damage as you think it is. Please pick up the weapon and don't dash one dodge. You rush at this guy a lot.
I rush at everyone.
Yeah.
I don't really have like.
Okay, so you miss that, and then you just slow on your punish really. To make it worse, it's because you dodge, and that delays everything by a bit. But you dodge nothing, if you saw. Again, slow on your punish. You miss a lot of punishes, and that's like, if you could fix that, you'd be a lot better. And the reason I don't tend to stray on, oh, you missed this punish here, you missed this punish here, is because a lot of people, myself included, just miss. You just miss sometimes. You just miss all the time. Okay?
Yeah.
You need to not miss all the time. You need to miss sometimes, because everyone misses sometimes. When you're missing all the time, it's consistently costing you damage. You are consistently losing damage here. Okay?
Yeah.
Side sig. Oh, what a legend. That dare was your death, by the way. I kill you there. You dare like this, I walk up to you and downlight and you die. We'll switch out, pick the bow back up. That was possibly the worst punish you could have gone for that. But he's such a legend, so it's fine. Okay, so you see why this is a side light, an end light, and anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You've done that a lot, so I want to look at this because I've seen like 3 times now throughout the games. That's like not the angle where people recover from unless they have absolutely nothing. So you are better off. I know you're not going to go off stage as we've already talked about, but at least Sarah rather than try to dare the wall because he doesn't have to go to the wall. Nice. Kinda. It's kind of weird. Side sig. That should have been a side sig because the weapon throw was going to hit him, or he was going to dodge through it, get hit by that end sig, and then run into the weapon throw. So the side sig just forces him to stay up there and get hit by it in the first place. Nice. Alright, so let's see what you're working with here. You have bow, and he has spear and hammer. And sure, you're like a downlight Sarah or something. You're probably like actually 2 downlight Sarahs if you get hit by the from the center. But you know what that means, right? That means you should be playing here. And you should never leave this area because he will have to work harder to kill you if you're playing here, right? That makes sense?
I have never thought about that.
You've never thought about that?
I've never.
How do you never think about that? How do you never go, oh, hammer can only kill me from here and here right now, so I should play here?
Guess I'm just not thinking hard enough.
Yeah. No, actually, you're thinking too hard. Yeah, about the future, but let's look at that. That makes sense, right? That makes complete sense to you.
Oh yeah.
It's not
totally.
surprising, but you've never thought about it, but it actually makes perfect sense that hammer can only kill me from here and here in 1 hit, and not here. Here it takes 2 hits, so I stay here and I get an extra hit off, maybe, right?
Yeah, especially on this map with the high ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Even GCD light and air ain't gonna kill me.
Mm-hmm. Spear, same case. Downlight Sarah will take like probably 3 hits honestly to kill you from here, and recovery, you might have like 1 left in you. I don't know. So you know, so when you get a look at your stock, think about like, oh, where is smart to play? And you're already hugging the center, so that's fine. Please stop staring. Nothing. It would be amazing if you did. So right here, this is like this circle you put yourself in is so bad because it's literally just jumping, and the reason you're lost is because you're thinking, what can I hit them with, right?
Yeah.
The answer is nothing, because bow doesn't hit below it, right? Like you see how you have to like try to fade into him to get that? It doesn't work. Just don't put yourself there in the first place. He reads you. You die. I would recommend you always dodge up in a way against spear, always, because there's no reason not to. The only reason I dodge down against spear is because if you see in the dodge guide, there's dodges you can get that punish the downlight you know is coming. But for the most part, if you dodge up, you're not going to get hit a lot. Nice. That was a stretch, to say the least, but it's fine. Okay, you're rushing a bit, and you saw I took your recovery there. You calm down. Like I said, you rush into everyone. It's not a good thing. Again, you're right. These spot dodges are not good for you. Like, for someone that is willing to play very hard and heavy and fast, you're also scared a lot. And when I say you're scared a lot, is you're scared of things that are good for you. As you don't take what you have a lot, and like I've pointed out when you do, and I say this is a good stock, this is a good job. That was hideous, but there's a lot of times where it's like going off stage is like the most obvious one, where it's like, okay, you need to take your win and you need to push it, because that's how you push advantages. And when we look at me play Bo, we're gonna talk about it. I don't have any recent Spear games because Spear, especially not right now. I don't think I'd be playing Spear right now, because to play Spear right now, I would have to play a Tori, and let's just say that no one should ever have to play a Tori. That was hopeful. It just was. I was looking at it and I was like, maybe you could have ended up somewhere else, but it just was hopeful. Interesting. Okay, I don't want to see it again. Downlight is fine. The downlight is the thing when you've been doing it every single time. Once again, sidelight will hit, and the downlight's damage is not that good. Ooh, a little slick on it. I respect that. Alright. So, this game was fine. The first stock is where most of the stuff comes at. You don't really show your worst habits throughout it. This is just like an okay game. You probably could have won a bit harder, but it's solid and you did fine. So, let's look at me be the beast player that I am, and then also talk about where you falter a lot. Right? So your worst habits are where you're choosing to dodge and the spot dodges. You spot dodge way too much. It's really obvious, and you also just don't. I don't see you dodging in other directions a lot of the times, and when you do, it's just like irrelevant directions to be at, right? So I would recommend you switch that up and use dodge in other places. That'd be very good for you. And that's just one small bad habit. Your confidence is up and then down. So it needs to always be up. You should always be the best player on screen. Does that make sense? I'm serious. You should always be the best player on the screen. I'm always the best player on the screen. Unless I queue into Boomy, Sandstorm, a list of people that I will not beat. But that's besides the point. Other than that, I'm the best player on the screen at all times, okay? And you should have that mentality, and that will allow you to go off stage. Sometimes you are the best player on the screen and there's $1,000, so you're scared. But that's not the case here. You just are the best player on the screen, and just play like it, okay? Some confidence would help you go even further than you're already going, because let's see what it looks like when you do have confidence. You get to do really cool stuff like what you did this entire stop, right? You get to not get hit by that. You get to play pretty well, right? So that's good. You punish that. That's good. Patience is good. Everything is good. When you have confidence, especially on a weapon like bow, you just get to play, and you just are playing. It's just amazing. It looks good, all right. And without confidence, you don't get to play. You get to do nothing, all right. This isn't even that deep of a game to look at because I don't know what happens, and I play majority sword, I'm pretty sure, because I was just like bored or something. But what we're actually going to look at, besides me getting that sick sidelight, is this one, because this one has a lot more of what I'm looking for, talking about. So I'm pretty sure I play a lot of bow here, and we're gonna, and the better you get, the weirder it is. When I play bow, and you said you were 2050, around that 2030 something. Like,
yeah, I just got 2060, beating that Nash for the replays.
Alright. Around that area is still in an area where I feel like I can do whatever I want. So you're gonna see how my bow play is different from yours in the fact that I take patience in everything I do. I don't really push anything that hard, mainly because you don't really get to around here. You get hit like this, and then you're looking for the next hit, right? You don't see me. You get that stare, and I see 3 chase dodges. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know where they're going, but they're going somewhere. So it's a lot more thinking about what I'm going to do next, right? And you can see he's thinking too. It's just gonna be a lot more thinking because you said to me when I asked you that your hopes in this game and your goal in this game is to eventually take it somewhere like here, right? And somewhere like here, you're not going to see dashes and you're not going to see chase dodges all over the place. You're actually just not, right? You can see what I do happen to have. I hit side lights and I force them around me in the air and then I get a punish out of it. That's what play looks like, right? I do flashy stuff in ranked just like everyone does, but in reality, I'm thinking a lot more than you. This is the weird thing about it, right? Because believe it or not, I'm thinking a lot more than you, but I'm doing a lot less than you, because I only do the correct things, but I have to think about everything that could happen. So your goal in it all is to think about what is good for you, what is the most value you can get out of something, and then not go out of your mind to get it. Not like press 10 different buttons to get it. I'm taking it slow and steady, and eventually slow and steady will win the race. But sometimes you do have to speed up, and that's fine. I do speed it up sometimes when I need to. There's another game in this where I play a lot faster. I think I play boat in this stock, and it's a lot more punishing. Yeah, so that's like the same down take stuff you do on Kaya, right? And I even go for it twice, just like you, and you can see where I use downlight, pushing him off to the edge, apply a lot of pressure and a lot of hovering. Right, so stuff like that is always going to be really good when you're playing bow. For as slow as I say I'm playing, this stock happened in what? Less than 20 seconds, right? So that's 2 downlights, and this started at 5:30, and just because I take all the pressure and punishes I can get, by the time it's already at like 5:10, he's already lost the entire stock, and it's his fault too, with dodges like that. But the point is that you're getting the max out of everything you can do, and that'll always be amazing for you, right? But you can still see, even when I'm getting these like big dodge punishes, you're not seeing chase dodges come out to go anywhere, because like I said earlier, you don't actually need to dash or chase dodge to get a punish, and usually if you do, it's a lot harder than you actually think it is. The punishes you have to get, the punishes you're dashing and chase dodging for are not the same ones you are seeing here. They're more difficult. That's the reason you dash or chase dodge in the first place. Yeah, this game, kind of the same story of how I'm gonna pressure it. So the nairs coming out. Like, yeah, it's just...
Jeez.
Yeah. The game is... Like, I'm literally... I'm not even moving if you, like, look at it. Like, I'm not moving. I just know where I need to be. And then you hit the next end light. I was gonna hit another one if I didn't mess up my input, but it's fine. I think I die here or whatever. That's fine. I just kill him next stock anyway. Yeah, like I said, that Nair thing, see, it makes sense to do it at the top of the map because there's so little he can actually go to. And you see he gets punished for not getting hit by it anyway. But you can see how little I actually need to dash to move anywhere. I only dash when I need to get somewhere in a spurt like that or to back away.
Yeah, I noticed that pros don't really dash a lot.
Yeah, I say that to a lot of people, and they don't believe me for some reason. We don't dash because if you're dashing, you're forced to move.
You're stuck in those frames.
Yeah, you're like forcing yourself to move, whereas you could slowly walk somewhere, and the effect is there for you. All right. He's getting a little scared, but you can see how it still doesn't really matter to me. Like I know where I need to be, and I know where I need to have out. Kind of fuck up there, but it's fine. God, I suck. I should quit. I didn't like play sword this whole tournament at all. Actually, I didn't really want to. Also, sidelight is broken, and you're using it to a good amount. You could probably use it some more. Another person to watch play Bo besides me, obviously, Boomy exists. Sandstorm play Koji, and no one really plays that character that you're playing. I don't even remember her name. Kaya.
Kaya.
But, yeah, but
There's 3. You played her once against Sandstorm. Impala mains her, and Blue plays her a little bit, but not even anymore. He doesn't play her anymore.
Yeah. The character, I'm not here to convince you not to play her at all.
No,
But
she's
I will
bad.
tell you that the character, not even that, the character has 2 weapons that do the same thing, so you don't want it. It's like, it's just not smart to have both zoning weapons like that, and then they're like honestly building damage off the same reads and shit like that. So it's like, okay, what matchups do you want Bow in that you don't want Spear in, right? Besides like Bow beats Spear, everything else is just you're doing the same thing. It's just the same areas of control and all that stuff. It doesn't make sense to. You're even doing the same reads off your sidelights, like sidelight X, sidelight downlight. It just doesn't make sense to lock yourself in the character like that. But she's kind of cool. I like Kaya. She'd be more fun if she had not 4 decks.
I'll make it work.
You're making it work.
Obviously not well enough. I'm not even 2100.
Yeah, but you're diamond, and that's more than a lot of people that play the game can say. So.
I'll probably come back.
How many
to
ranked
you.
games do you have this season?
This season, ranked games, I don't know. I haven't really been playing ranked much since I hit diamond the second time.
Okay.
I have 86 wins.
Okay, that's like nothing. What? You got ranked in 86 games. It took me 700 to get out of plat. And that was just, okay, I was trolling, but still. I was just like playing, I played like after school for fun, but that's still 700 games. Even if you're like playing like casually like that, you pick up things. So getting diamond in 80 games is fine. You said you had 1,400 hours. That's a lot, honestly, but getting diamond in all games is fine.
I remember you saying Boomy got good placements in tournaments at 1,000 hours, and I've always wanted that, and it didn't come to fruition.
It's not that simple, right? Like, that Boomy came in, and tournaments were already like the thing. Like, so for me, like my excuse is always like, okay, I came in, and there were no tournaments, so I played, and I was plat, and I didn't care because it was like, oh, why get a higher rank? And when tournament started, I immediately shot up like super high, and that was like that was. So it's like it's always there for me. Like it was always there, and it was like, okay, I never needed it though. I wasn't gonna try that hard for no reason, right? So they gave me a reason to, and then it showed up that what I was capable of. So that's fine for me. And Boomy came in, and he already had a reason to be good. So you always need a reason. If you can set a goal for yourself, and practice hard enough,
I got a reason.
Yeah,
Sandstorm called Kaya free on Twitter, and that's why I came to you. No, that's literally the reason why I came to you.
Wow. I mean, Kaya is kind of.
Oh,
no. Weapons,
right.
I'm telling you, it's because both her weapons do the same thing. I don't think she's good though. I don't know why you called her free. I remember I saw that tweet, and I literally went, wow, you guys love to like hype up these mediocre characters. Because I'm looking at him like, yo, Kaya, he's like, Kaya's so free, and I'm like, you literally lock in Jaeyoon in tournament. How can you even call a character like Kaya free? Like Kaya literally, Kaya does nothing. How can you call Kaya free? But I don't know. Like people, it's the same people that like they'll go like, yo, Jiro's like legit actually a good character. What is he good at? He's good at what? Like what do you lock in Jiro and want to do besides lose the game? It doesn't make sense. But it's fine. All right. So
I should probably go get my teammate now, right?